Hey Duelists, Pheromone here, and today we're cracking open a brand new box of Duelist Advance. That's right, the latest chapter of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game is here. Features loads of new support for a lot of existing decks, whether you're a fan of things like Sky Striker, maybe it's Nouvelle that's on your mind, or maybe you're here to feel the flow and high-five the sky with all the new Utopic support. There's also, of course, going to be some new themes introduced in the set, and there may be some TCG World Premiere cards that we haven't seen before. Before we get started, of course, you can find your packs of Duelist Advance at your official tournament store on July 2nd, and everywhere else you find Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading cards on July 4th. But I think you know what time it is. It's time to go ahead and crack open this box. All right, so let's find out exactly what is in Duelist Advance. Of course, we do have some surprises. If you haven't taken a look at the video that we posted up earlier this week, well, spoiler alert, there's some really good cards in this set. Let's go ahead and find this fresh new box. Gonna go ahead and park these packs. Give this a good shuffle just to kind of randomize everything. All right. And so, I guess cut the deck if you want to say it that way. Only one thing to do. Let's begin, shall we? All right, so very first pack, very first set. See what we get out of Duelist Advance. Ooh. All right, so we've got Heroic Champion, Magnum Excalibur, also looking at Wake Up Mocha here. Fun flip effect monster. Dark Flare Swordsman, nice to see some Dark Magician support, as well as Super Quantum Black Layer, and Luna Light Liger Dancer. So some fun new Luna Light prizes here. And great looking card there. All right, so also got Archmage Pact Awakening. I guess Archmage is going to be... Oh, speaking of which, Archmage is the new theme, but an old theme here. Leo Wizard the Dark Fiend. If you haven't played the early days collection, you may not recognize Leo Wizard, but cool stuff and a very unique effect. Gaia Stream, the Graceful Force, as well as Angry Burger. Very neat if you're a Nouvelle stan. All right, so... sort of whet our appetite on that Angry Burger. Let's see what else we got. All right, so we got Vanquish Soul Start, the new field spell, as well as Prototype Psychic Blaster. So looking at Valen, the Super Sky Blaster, Crossmind Archfiend, and then finally, oh wow, so it's going to be Archmage Graflair. So the first time this card would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. You can only use each of the following effects of Archmage Graflair once per turn. If you control an Archmage card, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can set one Archmage spell from your deck. You can target one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy it, and this is a quick effect if you have 3 or more different monster types in your field. So the Archmage archetype is very much about having multiple different kinds of cards on the field. Conveniently, they are, right? There are some dragon, spellcasters, warriors, and fairies in there, but need to have our first ultra rare of the brand new set. Set that aside. So we got Ashlan U1000, Unbreakable Xyz Barrier, also Miasma Dragon Tistina, nice to see more Tistina support, and Xyz Lay. All right, so let's see what else is in here. Teleport Fusion. We've also got Steel Stringed Sacrifice. Looks like a newer card for sure. So if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you could reveal a level 5 or higher monster in your hand, then activate one of these effects. But you can only use each effect of the Steel Stringed Sacrifice once per turn. During the end phase of this turn, lose 1,000 life points if you did not normal summon the revealed monster or a monster with the same name. Or same original name, after activating the effect. So you're either going to special summon this card from your hand, or you're going to add the card from your graveyard to your hand, or finally you're going to banish the card from your graveyard, and if you do, add a level 5 or higher monster from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting, okay. Kind of a mouthful of a card there, but certainly a lot of combo potential, and a level 1, which makes it certainly accessible with a lot of great support cards like things like 1-for-1. Interesting, okay. We've also got Moon Magician here. I think that's another new card for sure. If your opponent controls an Xyz monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You only special summon one Moon Magician once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one level 4 light monster in your graveyard, except Moon Magician. Special summon it, but negate its effects. Interesting. All right, we've also got Inferno of the Ashened and Mind Procedure, one of the new Psychic support cards. Very mental there for sure. Also have Lunalight Silverhound making as a comment, Serene Psychic Girl. Also got Nouvelle Recipe Book, Recette de Nouvelle, and then Psychic Omnibuster, another new Psychic monster. So it looks like a lot of new Psychic support here, but this one I think is a world premiere. So each time your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, except during the damage step, you could pay 2,000 life points and declare a card type, monster, spell, or trap, but you can only declare each card type once per turn to activate the effect of the Psychic Omnibuster. Look at one random card in your opponent's hand, and if it is the declared type, apply these effects in sequence. Skip over any effects that do not apply. So first, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects, the declared card type this turn, and then banish the card you looked at face up until the end phase. So interesting little Psychic tool piece there. All right, so some new combo potential for sure. And we did get some new Archmage cards. Let's see what else we find in here. We've also got Miracle Raven. Yeah, I think that is going to be a new card. So once per turn, during your main phase, you can ritual summon this card by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed 1. That's easy. Makes sense considering it's Ritual Raven incarnate again. So you can ritual summon this card with Miracle Raven, which of course is the zone effect. It must be ritual summon. This ritual summon monster is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. If you ritual summon exactly one monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters, this card you control can be used for the entire tribute. If this card is tributed for a ritual summon, you can add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Wow, that's a lot of synergy in just one tiny little pendulum package. Neat. We've also got Mutiny in the Sky. It's another new card. Wow. Fusion summon a Fiend or Fairy fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling Fiend and or Fairy monsters from your graveyard into the deck as material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one Fiend or Fairy monster from your hand or field into the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. Okay, so it has a little bit of recursion there. Interesting fusions. Okay, and then we have Chef de Nouvelle, also a light fiend, by the way, for Fiendsmith fans. And then another new importer card. We've got Uka no Mitsune no Tamayura. So a beast tuner, if you control a level 4 or light beast, plant, or fairy monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. A monster that was synchro summoned using this card gains these effects. It gains 500 defense, and your opponent cannot target this defense position card with card effects. Interesting. Okay, so defensive stuff. Oh, nice. First of the Dragon Lords. Nice fusion monster if you're running normal monsters galore. Could be running Magic-y, could be running 3 Blue Eyes if you happen to get the Kaiba Man the Legend there. But just generally a really good monster. Of course, you have to run multiple normal monsters in order to get good use of its effect, but not bad. We've also got the Monarch's Master Plan, Link Slayer at Ignister, the Starham, very cute there, and then an Archmage Power Patron. Okay, so a little bit of time spent on the newer cards, I know, but it's exciting for sure when you get to see something you definitely have never seen before. Oh wow, Layer 19, Sudden Incursion, Super Quantum Black. Definitely reads like an episode title. We've also got Buio, the Dawn's Light. Looks like a new fiend. Monsters in your leftmost or rightmost main monster zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can use each of the following effects of Buio, the Dawn's Light once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target a fiend effect monster you control, negate its effects, and if you do, special summon this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add Mutiny in the Sky. Oh, we passed Mutiny in the Sky. Okay, cool. That was the fusion spell from your deck to your hand. Also got Regenesis Cycle. Nice to see some new Regenesis support. Sudden Thunder Swamp. We've got RB Funk Dock. Okay. When this card is activated, add an RP card from your deck to your hand, except RB Funk Dock. Each time a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, gain 500 life points. If a face-up RB monster you control leaves the field by card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon an RB monster from your deck, but you can only use the effect of RB Funk Dock once per turn. You can only activate one of these cards once per turn. Interesting. Oh, we've got Spring. Wow, okay. So, neat little field spell there. I believe there's multiples of these, so we'll have to look out for more seasons in the future. Nouvelle Recipe Book, Recette de Nouvelle. Also got Regenesis Commands here as a common, and Gaia Stream, the Graceful Force. Nice if you're looking for 5 or 7s to turn into a rank 6. All right, so up next here, we've got Mutiny in the Sky. We were just talking about that card. Crossmind Archfiend, Sudden Thunder Swamp. We've got Valen the Super Psy Sky Blaster, and then RBGA 10 Cutter. So here's a new imported monster. So if you control no face-up monsters, or the only face-up monsters you control are RB monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon RBGA 10 Cutter once per turn this way. When your opponent's spell or trap card or effect is activated and this card is linked to an RB Link monster, you can pay 700 life points as a quick effect, destroy this card, and if you do, negate that effect. And if you do, destroy that card. Interesting. Okay, nice little machine there. Earth Machine's always fun. Xyz Lay, another Nouvelle Recipe Book. Gaia Stream, the Graceful Force, and then Return of the Duelist. Always fun when they're named after prior sets. All right, so see what else we got here. A lot of new cards. Always nice to be able to feature those. We've got Lunalight Masquerade, as well as Hushed Psychic Minister. Looking at Teleport Fusion. Always nice to have new ways to teleport your psychics on in. Super Quantum, Black Lair. We've also got, oops, almost missed the holo here. It's Morgana, the Witch of Eyes. A lot of people are excited about the Morganite card, especially the one that is premiering in this set, allowing you to quickly bring out high-level monsters. We'll see if we're able to get that out, because I know a lot of duelists are very excited for that. Also got Archmage Pack Awakening, another Lunalight Silverhand, the Unbreakable Xyz Barrier, and then Archmage Masterwork Succession. So, still only the one Ultra for now, but we'll see if we can't stumble into another one soon. We'll try from the other side of packs here, just to mix things up. All right, so Spirit Poacher, sorry Crystal Bee Thamus a cat. No, it's been better days, but let's see, Hushed Psychic Minister, got Ukano Mitsune no Anari, the Lunalight Masquerade, and then Monarch's Revolt, yes! Neat little powerhouse there. Again, discard a card, reveal 3 monsters from your deck with 2,400 or more attack and 1,000 defense, and or 800 attack and 1,000 defense. Your opponent chooses one for you to add to your hand, and you send the rest to the graveyard. Also, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. Of course, you can banish this card from the graveyard, special summon a monster with 800 attack and defense, or excuse me, 800 attack and 1,000 defense from your hand. So obviously the vassal monsters there. Really, really cool stuff. Okay, so we've also got Theo Realize from the Archmage side of things, Starham, Link Slayer Ad Ignister, and then we're looking at Return of the Duelist. All right, so see if we can't stumble into something secret here. Also, there are Starlight rares. This is the first core booster pack with Starlights in it for the first time in a while. We've got the Steel String Sacrifice, also looking at Prototype Psychic Blaster, Spirit Poacher here, Darkflare Swordsman, and then, oh, nice, speaking of Monarchs, Eidos the Underworld Monarch, so he finally had a little bit of a glow up here. So, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Monarch spell or trap or monster with 2,800 attack and 1,000 defense from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can declare an attribute, make one face-up monster in the field become that attribute. If you tribute summon a monster with 2,400 or more attack and 1,000 defense while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand or special summon it. So neat little bit of Monarch support there, and obviously has the sacred stats of 2,400 attack and 1,000 defense. Hopefully we see Monarchs return. I know certainly saying Monarchs in competitive play sends a shiver down people's spines because they had their heyday for sure. Speaking of heyday though, let's give some other cards a little limelight here. We've got Ashland U1000, also have Moon Gardna. I want to say as a new importer card, if your opponent controls 2 or more monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Moon Gardna once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summoned and your opponent controls a monster, you can target one level 4 light monster in in your graveyard, except Moon Gardener, and add it to your hand. Interesting. Okay, and you can only use each effect once per turn, or you only use this effect once per turn. Certainly a neat way to get additional resources out of the graveyard. Speaking of which, the Monarch's Master Plan, and then Archmage Vandalism Assault. Okay. Still no secret rares here. Hopefully, trying to get some Blue Eye stuff. We do have Super Quantal Fairy Zaton. We've also got Vanquish Soul Start, Moon Magician, level... This is going to be Layer 19 Sudden Incursion, Super Quantum Black. And then, oh, nice, Primite Fusion. Talked about this a little bit on the last video about just how powerful it is to be able to have an in-archetype fusion spell. Failed to mention, this is a normal spell, so you can actually set it with the effect of your Primite cards and then immediately flip it over. So, yeah, Primite's eating well. And generally normal monsters are feeling better than ever. All right, we also got Link Slayer at Ignister, as well as Spring again. Leo Wizard, the Dark Fiend. I love that the tail, by the way, exceeds the little like internal border. You can see it's actually coming across there. And then Theo Realize. All right, so not quite halfway through the box here, but finding a whole bunch of new cards here. Let's take a look. We've got another Miracle Raven, as well as Wake Up Mocha. Inferno of the Ashen. Ashen support is real. And then we've got Buio the Dawn's Light. And, oh, Zubababa Knight. Zubababa Knight. Yeah, Zubababa Knight. So, yeah, a lot of new support cards. Obviously interested in the Zexal theme, then this is going to be your one-stop shop because you've got new Do-Do-Do, Go-Go-Go, Ga-Ga-Ga, or excuse me, Ga-Ga-Ga-Ga, Zuba-Ba-Ba. Yeah, there's one extra syllable here. Long story short on this one, of course, when it's summoned, you're going to add a Zubaba monster from your deck to your hand, except Zubababa Knight. And this card's level will become equal to the added monster. And then also, it's got another effect when it's normal or special summon. You can destroy a level 4 or lower defense monster your opponent controls. And then if the card is detached from an Xyz monster to activate the monster's effect, then you can add a Ga-Ga-Ga monster from your deck to your hand. And there's a very similar effect on each of these that basically adds the next thing, right? Zubaba Knight adds Ga-Ga-Ga cards, and then the Ga-Ga-Ga card adds Go-Go-Go, and so on and so forth. All right, so speaking of which, we've also got Archmage Masterwork Succession, Moon Gardener, also Archmage Vandalism Assault, and a Regenesis Command. All right, so 2 Ultras in, still a lot of really good support throughout the set here. Take a look at what we've got here. Another Super Quantal Fairy Zaton. We've got a Chef du Nevel. We've also got Inferno of the Ashen, Dark Flare Swordsman, and then Ga-Ga-Ga Utopic Tactics. Nice for all things Xyz summoning. Just nice, you know, so many years later, we are still high-five in the sky. Speaking of which, we've got Xyz Lay here, another Angry Burger, as well as Psychic Omnibuster, and the Monarch's Master Plan. All right, picking up the pace a little bit here, since we have been sort of stalling on each of the comments. Just interesting new stuff. Always excited about each card, but Chef du Nevel, so Heroic Champion Magnum Excalibur, another Ukono Mitsune no Tamayura, Regenesis Cycle, and then up next, oh my goodness. Okay, so it's Archmage Academic Arcane Arts Acropolis. That's a lot even for somebody like me. Goodness. So, during your main phase, you can normal summon Medius the Pure. In addition to your normal summoner set, you can only use this effect once per turn, or gain the effect once per turn. You can discard a spell or trap and declare an Archmage monster card that is not among the monsters you control and has not been declared for Archmage Academic Arcane Arts Acropolis this turn. Add that monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Archmage monsters, Medius the Pure, or from the extra deck. Wow, okay, so that's just gorgeous. And nice to know that we are one down on the new Archmage Archetypes field spell there. You know it's gotta be good if it's a field spell. All right, so we've also got Absolute Axon Kicker, Spring, Archmage Power Patron, and Shipping Error. Interesting. Okay, so this will bring us one half through. We got our first secret rare there. All right, so we've got Mutiny in the Sky, the new fusion spell, as well as Spirit Poacher, Miracle Raven, Lunalight Masquerade, and then moving on to Vanquish Soul Rocks. Talked a lot about this earlier this week, but it's a really good Xyz monster with a lot of cool, powerful effects, and it is not once per turn, which is neat. If you have managed to get multiple Earth monsters underneath there, so certainly something to look out for, and I think a lot of Vanquish Soul duels are going to be happy this format. Also got Return of the Duelist, Absolute Axon Kicker, another Ashlon U1000 there. Is that a new one? If a ritual monster, this card points to attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. You can only use each of the following effects of Ashlon U1000 once per turn. You can reveal a ritual monster in your hand, add a ritual monster with a different type and attribute from your deck to your hand. If you ritual summon, except during the damage step, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Interesting. Okay, nice little ritual link support there, and then another unbreakable Xyz barrier. All right, grabbing from the other side here. And see what we get. We've got Teleport Fusion, also Dark Flare Swordsman, looks like Chef de Nivelle, another Ukano Mitsune no Anare, and then, oh, nice, this is the Morganite we were talking about, Guilt Gripping Morganite. So check this out. Of course, just like other Morganite cards, you cannot activate monster effects in the hand, but get this. You could normal summon level 5 or higher monsters without tributing. Again, you can normal summon level 5 or higher monsters without tributing. And you do not pay life points to activate spell or trap cards. You can also banish this card from the graveyard to reveal a Morganite card in your hand, place the revealed card on the bottom of the deck and draw one card, just in case you accidentally draw too many of those. We've also got Linkslayer Adagnister, Return of the Duelist, Psychic Omnibuster, and then Archmage Vandalism Assault. I think we pulled most of the Archmage cards except the monsters and Amedius the Pure. So it's good to have most of the spells and traps, though. Looking at Crossmind Archfiend, also got a Moon Magician. Looking at Wake Up Mocha, as well as Ukano Mitsune no Minotaur, and oh my goodness, okay, it is number F0 Utopic Future Zexal. So it is the cover card. We do got that luck still. So 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank, and its rank is always treated as 1, by the way. Notice it literally doesn't have a rank there. So it gains attack and defense equal to the number of ranks on the field, combined ranks of all Xyz monsters you control times 500. Your opponent's monsters cannot target other monsters for attacks except this one, and they can't target other monsters for card effects except number F0 Utopic Future Zexal. And then, finally, has a pretty decent effect, I would say. So, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, quick effect, attach material from this card, and then take control of the monster your opponent controls. Also, for the rest of the turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, which is huge considering how small it is innately with that 0/0. Very cool. Always great to get the cover card. I've also got the Archmage Pact Awakening, a Lunalight Silverhound, Leo Wizard the Dark Fiend, and Archmage Vandalism Assault. All right, so still got about a third of the box left. Haven't completely gobbled up everything, but let's see what we get out of these last packs. Sudden Thunder Swamp, as well as Crossmind Archfiend, Wake Cup Mocha, Inferno of the Ashes, and then, ooh, RB the Brute Blues. So it's going to be 2+ machine monsters. It is a link 3. Gains the following effects while it points to an RB monster. So it's going to gain attack equal to the total original attack of the RB monsters it points to. You make a second attack during each battle phase, and it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. During your main phase, you can add an RB card from your deck to your hand. You can only use each of the effects of the RB, the Brute Blues, once per turn. That's wild. Okay. Moon Gardna, as well as Unbreakable Xyz Barrier. We've got Gaia Stream, the Graceful Force, and then Shipping Error. All right. Continuing on, discovering some new cards along the way here. All right, we've got Hushed Psychic Minister here, Super Quantum Black Layer, Buio the Dawn's Light, Regenesis Cycle, and Archmage Litera, another one of the new Archmage monsters. So you take no damage from battles involving this card. You can only use each of the following effects of Archmage Litera once per turn. If you control an Archmage card, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add an Archmage card from your graveyard to your hand. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can special summon an Archmage card from your hand or graveyard, except of course Archmage Litera, and then you return this card from the field to the hand, so you get to recycle the effects once more. Also got Moon Gardna, an Archmage book, Masterwork Succession. Also got Theo Realize. So a lot of powerful spells and traps in the Archmage family. And then Miasma Dragon Tistina. So it's nice to see some more Tistina support. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Tistina monster from your deck to your hand, except Miasma Dragon Tistina. Also, for the rest of the turn, light Tistina monsters you control gain 1,000 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard and a card is in the field zone, you can special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the hand or graveyard for the rest of the turn, except Tistina monsters. So nice to see a TCG World Premiere card actually getting a little bit more support. Tistina and Ashen both getting some new stuff this set. Speaking of new stuff, we've got Hushed Psychic Minister, Prototype Psychic Blaster, as well as Regenesis Cycle, Layer 19 Sudden Incursion Super Quantum Black, and another Vanquish Soul Rocks. Then we got Absolute Axon Kicker, Archmage Masterwork Succession, Miasma Dragon Tistina, and another Angry Burger. All right, so final few packs here, just about 5 or so left. We've got Teleport Fusion, Sudden Thunder Swamp, the Steel Stringed Sacrifice. There it is. Nice. Okay, so Nerva, the Power Patron of Creation. It's going to be 3 Archmage monsters, and it must first either be Fusion Summoned or Special Summoned from your extra deck in defense position by attributing 3 monsters with different types. You can only special summon Nerva, the Power Patron of Creation, once per turn. While a card is in the field zone, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, when you activate an Archmage monster's effect, quick effect, you can make the activated effect become destroy all cards your opponent controls. So really cool, like the deck obviously very flexible, able to bring a whole bunch of different cards out and recycle the resources, but eventually does need to fuse, and it's nice that they can use that fusion to, in the way that Orcus uses the field spell to sort of enhance all of its monsters' effects, it's nice to be able to change this to be able to destroy everything. So really, really neat pull there. Regenesis Commands, we've also got Spring, Archmage Power Patron, another Archmage card actually worth reading here since we did just pull the fusion. So you cannot special summon from the extra deck except fusion monsters while you've got your Archmage Power Patron, but you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. So during the main phase, quick effect, you can fusion summon an Archmage fusion monster or Nerva, the Power Patron of Creation, from your extra deck using this card you control and monsters from your hand or field. If this card is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can add an Archmage spell or trap from your deck to your hand with a different name than the cards in your graveyard. Also got Star Ham there as well. So a couple more packs. Still haven't seen a Starlight Rare. Maybe we will find one, but let's see as we go through the last 4 here. Count them down. So we've got Heroic Champion, Magnum Excalibur. We've got Layer 19, Sudden Incursion, Super Quantum, Black. We've got Super Quantal Fairy Zatan, Val of the Super Psy, Sky Blaster, and this looks new, Readying of the Rites. Add a Fiend Ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if you added a Pendulum monster, you can special summon 1 Sacrificial Offering token, which is a Fiend Dark level 1 attack 300, defense 300 token. While you control that token, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. When your ritual monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can banish this card from your graveyard and draw 1 card. But you can only use each effect of Readying the Rites once per turn. That's cool. Okay, that's some just good ritual support. We've got Leo Wizard, the Dark Fiend, another Ashland U1000, Theo Realize, and another Angry Burger. All right, so 3 packs remaining. New cards are always fun. Let's see if we can find more of those then. Vanquish Soul Start. We've also got Lunalight Masquerade, the Steel Stringed Sacrifice. Skipped one. It was another Ukano Mitsune, excuse me. But we also got a First of the Dragon Lords again. Just a great card. I'm definitely going to be using that. Psychic Omnibuster, as well as Absolute Axon Kicker, another Shipping Error, and then finally Serene Psychic Girl. All right, so 2 packs remaining. All right, so we've got Heroic Champion, Magnum Excalibur. Also looking at Buio, the Dawn's Light. Moon Magician. Ooh, skipped another one. Super Quantum Black Layer. And then Gagaga Utopic Tactics. So Utopia and Utopic Xyz monsters you control whose original attribute is light cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Gagaga Utopic Tactics once per turn. You can declare a level from 1 to 12 and target 2 face-up monsters you control, including a Gagaga monster. They become that level. If you Xyz summon a Utopic or Utopia monster whose original attribute is light, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. Nice. Okay. That's just good. It has that nice cumulative continuous effect that a lot of Utopic cards are slowly getting, continuous spell by continuous spell. Regenesis Commands, the Star Ham, and then another Archmage Power Patron, and a Miasma Dragon Testina. All right, friends, it was fun. We pulled a lot of the latest and greatest in the newest deck. But let's see what we get out of our final pack here. Last chance. Vanquish Soul start. We've got Super Quantal Fairy Zatan, Valen the Supersized Sky Blaster, Ukano Mitsune no Onari, and then we've got Go 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 Goblinberg. So when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a non-warrior Go 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 monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then, if this card's in attack position, change it to defense position. Also, for the rest of the turn, you could not special summon from the extra deck except Xyz monsters. If this card is detached from an Xyz monster, to activate that monster's effect, you can add 1 Dodo monster from your deck to your hand. So just like we talked about, basically starts a chain, almost like, red gadget to yellow gadget to green gadget, sort of syllables to syllables to syllables. We also got Serene Psychic Girl, Shipping Error, the Monarch's Master Plan, and finally Xyz Lay. Okay, so we got quite a few powerful cards here. Taking a look at some of the holographic cards once more, especially the secret rare here. Get that into focus. Okay, camera, there we go. To show off Nerva, the brand new fusion monster here. And then beyond that, taking a look at the new TCG World Premiere card, RB the Brute Blues, as well as the cover card for the set's going to be number F0, Utopic Future Zexal. And, oh, it's so gorgeous. The Archmage Academic Arcane Arts Acropolis. Try saying that a few times fast. Try typing that a few times fast. Also got, that's got Utopic Tactics, Primite Fusion, just excited about. But going through the Ultra Rare specifically, we've got Eidos, the Underworld Monarch here for all the Monarch fans. And finally, the first Ultra we pulled, the Archmage Graflair. So, didn't see all the Archmage cards, so we'll have to be going back in, and you can go back in for your packs of Duelist Advance on July 2nd. Of course, where they're found at your official tournament store, and then everywhere else you find the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game on July 4th. Really cool sets, got a lot of new decks you can play, and obviously a lot of support for existing decks, so hoping to see what you Duelists can do whenever you get your advanced packs of Duelist Advance. But we will see you in the next one, and good luck in your future duels.